Welcome to tonight's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Paul. And we're going to talk about the year in review.
This year sucked. There's your year in review.
This year has been garbage. Fucking garbage. Well, what was bad is that it started around your birthday.
As I was talking slightly before we started. Because I remember my exact words shortly after my birthday, right before March began. I was talking to my friend over one of my Discord buddies. And I was like, this whole virus thing I'm hearing about, I'm sure, I'm sure it's just being blown out of proportion, like, the whole swine flu thing. Boy, was I wrong. I was horribly wrong.
I'll tell you what sucked.
And then I said, well, even if it is a big deal, it's not like our leaders. Like, I hate our leaders, but it's not like they'll just leave us to die. And then they did.
What got me was the week the quarantine hit. The week before was your mom and I's anniversary. We went to the movies because I'm trying to remember what movie we went and seen on Thursday. But we went to the movie on Thursday. We went out to eat on Friday. So we went down to Smoky Bones Friday. Then we went and all of us when we left the shop because we all go out to eat. Mm-hmm. So it was me, Mark, Bone, and Dersham, I think. And we all went to Applebee's because it was the last night of the quarter boneless wings.
It's like...
And we all sit there, and I was sitting there because they were starting to separate people out. And we were like, man, because there was like nobody there. And I was like, my meal was like $8, and I paid with a 20. And I just gave my waitress, I just told her to keep the change. And everybody's like, you were like an $11 tip. I'm like, dude, this might be the last day she works for a while. So the next day, me and your mom wanted to go see, I think we seen Invisible Man on Thursday. And then I think we went and seen The Hunt on Sunday. So we went to the theater. Theater is, like, there's almost nobody there. And this is Sunday afternoon. So we go watch the movie. We love the movie. On our way back, we're on our way to go to the grocery store, and that's when it comes across. Your mom got a text, and they're like, "Oh, they're shutting it down. They're shutting it down Monday at whatever, like 10 o'clock at night. They're shutting it all down." So I'm like, God dang it, seriously? So we went into the store that night. We gathered up like everything we thought we were going to need because we didn't know how long this was going to last. Because they act like they were shutting everything down, which only mom and pop shops.
They acted
and
like it was
restaurants
going to be
got
Armageddon.
Yeah, and
you were warning us about the machetes over here.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, the guns are over here. This, that, and other.
The artillery is in the kitchen. If you need to fish out an anti-tank rifle, it's in there.
But so we go through everything, and then everybody showed up that Monday at the shop. I sold every game almost every game console I had. And that's when we were. Then that was when we were only allowed to. We had to shut down the shop itself, but we were still allowed to do
online sales.
No, we were still, but we were allowed to do curbside service. So if people knew what they want, they could call us, and we would just run it out to them. And then they took that away. But literally, like, I sold almost every game console I had in, like, less than a week. We had no game consoles.
People wanted... It's like, if I'm going to be stuck inside, I might as well be stuck inside with some video games.
And on that note, we forgot to... Game consoles are available at RU Game.
We have them again. Yeah. This is from months ago, so we have product.
We have restocked a lot, even though going into Christmas, I got cleaned out pretty freaking hard. Luckily, I was able to get a few in, but
My dad, the deal maker over
Yes.
here.
Are you game at 124 North Sunset Drive, Pickle, Ohio 45356. You can follow Are You Game on Facebook because that's where most people see us and check us out. Or you can come in. I'm always there except for Thursdays and Sundays. We're open on Thursdays, closed on Sundays. I don't work on Thursdays. I need a day off. But you know, it got hard, and the worst part about it is that we were just talking at the shop. The last comic book show we set up and did was like a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. I haven't done a comic book show in a year, and that's throwing me off because, man, that's what, you know, I'd buy stuff, I would do trading, I'd sell.
As we said, you know, in some of our early podcasts, it's good that they shut down the conventions, though. Not good for the people running them, but for the good for the public health, because con crud is already extremely powerful.
Con crud is horrible.
Con crud combined with COVID would, like...
It would wipe out the nerd population.
Like, it'd be like a culling.
Well, and here's the thing, though, is I've grown so used to con crud. I mean, so used to it, that whenever I have a pouch that I now start carrying on my side, and I keep in it, I keep my phone, I keep my headphones, so if the show gets slow, I can plug it in, I can listen to music. I keep a bottle of hand sanitizer. And this is back well before anything, you know, started, you know, because...
Con crud.
Con crud. And for those of you who don't know, con crud is you're trapped in a small convention... Well, not small. You're trapped in a convention center or a hall of some sort with a bunch of people and...
Who don't wash their hands.
And, you know, they'll come in and they'll still come to the show sick and everything else. And you literally... will feel like garbage. So you'll get home on Sunday, you'll feel like garbage on Monday. And then I started doing usually the Sunday, because I usually work out on Sundays, so I started working out on Mondays when I got back. And so if I was feeling like crap, man, I would go to the gym and I would just work out and I would get through that.
You'd be like, you know what? Screw you, body.
Oh yeah,
I'm sweating it out.
Horrible. Tina hates it because I will sweat out, man. You know, you get a fever. I wrap myself in like 20 blankets. I bundle up. You know, usually I just wear a pair of shorts to bed. Man, I will wear a pajama pants, a t-shirt. I'll throw on my bathrobe. I'll wrap myself on a blanket. I will turn the heat up in the room. I will purge that out of my system, and it works for me. Other people go, "You're going to die doing that. You know that's not how that works, right?" I'm like, it is for me, and I don't care. Because you can't kill me.
As long as you owe money, you will never die.
Yeah, no. As long as I owe somebody money, because when I die owing people money, that means I win. So, although it sucks now that I've gotten like all my bills caught up and paid and actually become an adult, and it's weird. But then there's still people who come out of the woodwork and they're like, "You owe for this place," and I'm like, "Well, I've never been to that place."
Well, you owe for it somehow.
I just had I had that happen the other day, and I'm like, well, one is that is not me. One, I've never been there. I don't know who that is, you know, stuff like that. And it's one of them things.
I've got some red in my beard.
Yeah,
like look in the.
Yeah, it's because I have your yeah.
I'm blonde, but I have red in the beard.
Well, I have red. I used to have red in my beard, and I have red in my hair, but that's all gotten faded since I've gotten older.
You got the gray in the beard.
No, I got gray in the beard. I'm gonna grow a big beard, and I'm gonna shave my head. I'm gonna become a wizard off a cover of a D&D book.
Just gonna wear a big whole hat, the robe.
No.
Are you gonna be a shirtless wizard?
No,
like
I'm gonna be a jacked wizard. Yeah. No, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get the hood robe. I don't want the hat. I want the hood. So all you see is the beard and like
what you
this
need
much
is
of my
just like
face.
a cowl, so you can still go shirtless.
I keep telling everybody that's the one thing I want to do. I want to go LARPing still. This is like a couple years down the line. I want to spend the next like year and get really ripped, and then just go to like
a LARP.
So we have all these guys sitting around in the leather armor and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking full berserker, like fucking face paint and shit.
Gonna go Norse
just like,
god.
Just fucking
Double axes.
Just walk around with two big fucking foam axes and just watch people from across the field. Just make eye contact at them. Go.
Just go ape, as they say.
Yeah, just act like you're just fucking actually gonna kill them. Just. And just you have the guy on the other side like, what? What did I do? Oh my god! But that's down the road now. And
if I'm gonna be a LARPer, I'm just gonna be like, behold my holy weapon, a gun.
I present you thunder from the sky. Ba-boom. No. Oh man.
You got that 9.
Oh, you know what's funny though? Thinking about 2020 though, this has had me. We went and seen. I actually was one of the few people. I know Wonder Woman was available on HBO Max, but you know what? I went and seen Wonder Woman in the theater.
You're a maniac.
Because I love going to the theater. I don't care. You know what? It was literally Joe, me, your brother TJ, and then like the next closest people was like 8 chairs that way. And, like, the next closest people were, like, 6 chairs this way. There was nobody behind us. And there was, like, nobody in front of us.
You all had your masks on.
Yeah, and those people were, like, the closest people in front of us were, like, there's nobody in the 4 seats in front of us. And, like the 4th seat over here, there was some little kid. But, yeah, I had my mask on and everything. I've already been to, like...
I'm going to be completely honest. If one thing from 2020 stays around, it's social distancing. You motherfuckers stay away from me.
I don't... Oh man, you know what I love, and this is great. Is I don't know why people think they need to hand me their babies. They're like, oh, have you seen my? No, I don't want to touch your baby. I don't. I
just eat a baby and see how many people hand you babies afterwards.
You know what I love doing is the meme that says when somebody hands you a baby, goes, no thanks, I've already eaten.
No thanks, I'm full.
No thanks. Yeah, no thanks, I'm full. But no one is like tried to hand me their kid. I'm like, yes. One is
children.
I'm a germaphobe anyway, so I'm always washing my hands and I'm always using hand sanitizer, and I've done that since well before. This whole thing is the amount of
healthy
the amount
habits.
of people who, especially this is one thing that goes back to conventions. When you make a deal, most people want a handshake. And I told everybody that like last year, and this was hilarious. This is before COVID hit. Mm-hmm. I told them as of last year, I won't be shaking hands. I was like, I'll fist bump you. I was like, but I'm not shaking hands anymore. And it's just, I don't like, because germs and con crud. So when people would like reach out like this, I'd just be like, at the end, they're like, boom. And now they tell you not even to do that. It's like, you like bump elbows or you do the, I'm like, this should be fine, you know? But, I know this is bad. But no, we went to the theater, went and seen Wonder Woman. And I'm not going to lie, here's my non-spoiler review of Wonder Woman. It's not a good movie, but I enjoyed it.
Joe said it was weird.
It was weird. It was
but I hope it's at least the fun kind of weird.
It felt like it was lost a little bit, and I know this movie's been done for like 2 years. And
something probably happened.
I'm sure that the editing and stuff has gone in there. And yet again, DC loves their dark movies. This is the only thing I'll give away is there's a fight scene towards the end, and it's just super dark and hard to see.
You can't see shit?
Yeah, I mean, and the worst part about it is when I came home from watching it in the theater, your mom was watching it on HBO Max, and I caught literally probably half of it again, and watched the half of it again, and it was just as dark on my TV as it was in the theater. Everything else is really bright on that in that movie, except for one fight scene. And it's like dark as hell, and it's DC is notorious at that.
I want to see the fight scenes that you choreographed and filmed, DC.
Oh my god! And this is going to go out to Mick, because Mick used to make fun of me. The fact is that I was not a big Gal Gadot fan, because I thought Gal Gadot was too skinny, in Batman v Superman. And I'm not gonna lie, I still think she's a pretty girl. I'll go out on that. I just thought she was too skinny to play Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman needs to be jacked.
And
she needs to look like she can tear you in half.
And then of course she got a little bulkier in Wonder Woman, and then she's got a little, but she's not like you know, she doesn't have huge.
Jacked,
yeah, she's not. But she's filled out more.
She's got the muscles.
She got bigger. Yeah, and I appreciate that. And another thing that's funny is that Joe and I every Friday, what do?
Fortune Fire?
No, that's every Wednesday.
Wednesday.
What do me and Joe watch every Friday?
The Mandalorian.
Yes. And this was the first weekend with no new Mandalorian. But, in a weird way, we still got to watch The Mandalorian, because who was Maxwell Lord? The Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal. So I was really happy with that. I think he played a good Maxwell Lord. It didn't end how I thought it would. If anybody's read the comics, I actually liked Maxwell Lord as the liaison for the old Justice League, the mid '80s, just like the late '80s, early '90s Justice League. Mm-hmm. They made him a villain. I always thought that was kind of weird, but it did fit the character, because he was always kind of.
Always leaning a little.
Yeah, he wasn't such a bad guy. I mean, he ended up becoming a bad guy. I mean, that what you get in Infinite Crisis when he shoots Blue Beetle. Spoiler alert on a like a 10-year-old book. But you know, seeing him as just the villain through the entire movie for me was a little odd. But he did a good job playing that character.
What I think, if they should have built up Maxwell Lord. They should have maybe had him have start off as
I would have liked Maxwell Lord to have been
an ally for a bit and maybe have a heel turn towards the end.
Yeah. I would have liked to seen that. I would, given the fact it was in 1980s, I would have liked to seen him start in this one and sort of he wasn't the bad guy in this one and maybe become a bad guy in a later movie. And I can appreciate that. That being said, Kristen Wiig as Barbara Cheetah, I did not know what I wanted to think about her. And I guess, because she's quirky, she's the funny girl. They always kind of she's kind of she's not pretty because her hair is in a ponytail and she's wearing glasses. Kristen Wiig's not an unattractive woman, and I don't understand.
The thing is,
Hollywood
producers have it in their heads that if a girl wears glasses,
and a ponytail, they even make fun of that in Not Another Teen movie from back in 2001.
We took you to the moon. We took you to Bloomington. And now MTV will take you beyond the frontier of modern laser technology with MTV's Compact Disc Giveaway. Over $100,000 worth of up-to-the-minute compact disc equipment. The sound is better than anything you'll hear on an average record or tape.
Why?
Because they replaced the needle with a laser.
Lasers? That sounds scary.
Nah. We've taken lasers out of space and put them into your bedroom. MTV's crack team of audiophile pioneers went 200 years into the future to come up with a grand prize. A Sony Deluxe compact disc player, digital speakers, amplifier, AM/FM tuner, and a cassette deck. Plus, a selection of 100 compact discs from Warner Electra Atlantic, CBS, and Polygram record catalogs.
But what about the runners-up? They've worked so hard.
100 runners-up win a Sony compact disc player ready to plug into your existing stereo system and 15 compact discs. To enter and win, send a postcard to MTV Compact Disc Giveaway. Post Office Box 1211, Radio City Station, New York, New York 10101. Become a part of the laser revolution in sound with MTV, and you'll never have to pick fuzz out of your record grooves again.
We are having a heat wave, 92 degrees and going nowhere but up. We're looking for a high of 98.
Okay, who's first?
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
And we're back. Sorry about that. We had an interruption in the middle there.
Technical difficulties because this camera started off great and then went to shit.
Yeah. And now I got to find a receipt for it, so because I got a warranty on. I paid the extra warranty to get on this thing. So
I kind of forget what we were talking about.
Okay, we were talking about Wonder Woman and Maxwell Lord and Barbara and Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we were talking about like Hollywood, like if they want to make an unattractive girl, they usually like
Put ponytail and glasses.
Either ponytail and glasses, messy hair and glasses. Usually baggy clothes too, and it's just like all you're doing is making her more attractive.
I love the fact that they actually make fun of that in the old we were talking about it, Not Another Teen Movie, back when it had Captain America in it, and but
what I want to say is if she looks like she hasn't showered in a week, that only makes me more attracted. Oh no!
But no, I'm not, like I said, going back to Wonder Woman. I thought Barbara did. I think Kristen Wiig did a decent job as Barbara. But yet again, like I said, it feels like there's something missing or something's been edited. And like I said, the movie's been done for 2 years. We were supposed to get it in this time. Well, almost a year ago. It was supposed to have been released in March, and then we got postponed till July, and then we got October, and then we finally got December.
Christmas Day release.
Christmas Day.
Making those poor theater workers work on
The
Christmas.
theater workers like, yay, we got work, yay. I enjoyed it. It's not a great movie. Gal Gadot is great in it. Chris Pine is great in it. I think because he's come back, because if he died in the last movie. Spoiler alert on another old movie. As I sit here and drink out of my old Wonder Woman cup that I always drink out of. That's a little wonky. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But it is what it is. But what get back to something is, I believe in just a handful of days, because it was out overseas, but the number one comic book movie of the year was Birds of Prey. Because that's the highest grossing comic book movie of the year. But I think in just a handful of days, I think Wonder Woman will beat it with basically limited release.
I'll be honest, I like Marvel movies, but it's kind of nice to get a break from them. We're going through the very few positives of 2020 right now.
Although I'm going to lie, I liked New Mutants. I went and see New Mutants during the early days of the quarantine because I went in and wore my mask. Literally, me and your mom went. I think there was like 8 people in the entire theater.
You went to the one in Huber, right?
Yeah, we always go.
You can't go to the one in Piqua anymore.
Oh no, that's below me. I'm not going to go into those horrible seatings. I like the big cushy leather chairs that recline. Actually, I like going to Sinopolis because it has the big cushy chairs that recline, and they also bring food to your table, to your seat. You can order food and they bring it to you.
Hello, kitty cat.
But like I said, I enjoyed New Mutants. I also saw Tenet, New Mutants. What else did I see? I saw another movie. Oh, Freaky. I've only seen like 5 movies since quarantine, and for me that's hard because I usually go to the movies every week. And I am a movie-going guy.
You are a cinemaphile, as they say.
I am definitely a cinemaphile. I am a. There are movies that I have gone out of my way to be able to see in the theater.
I will say, hey, cat, quit scratching the couch.
Yeah.
Do your job, dog. Chase the cat. She don't wanna.
I mean, like I've got to see some of my favorite horror movies on the big screen, even though they came out when either A was too young to see them, or they didn't come around here.
Well, it's like there's some for me, it's something. It's like it's hard to explain. So I'll bring up an example. There was some footage circling around of an old 80s theater recording of Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the scene where Vader reveals to Luke that, you know, he is Anakin Skywalker. He is, you know, Luke's dad. And it captures that audience reaction because, you know, this is like the first, like, this was like, I think, a midnight showing. I think this was like the first, no spoilers, no nothing. People were like, oh no, oh. You could like hear them go like, oh. It's actually like really interesting. It's like that theater experience, like being there to witness film history.
Oh yeah. Well, another thing is that and this gets off the whole topic of 2020 being garbage, but though it talks about the whole theater experience. I got to see Blair Witch Project at a midnight showing.
Opening day.
So the first showing, I go to the theater in Huber Heights at 11:59. The first showing, because it dropped on a Wednesday. The first showing, regular showing, was on Thursday. We go in, and you know people give that movie shit because it I don't know how it didn't really age well, and it doesn't really do well if you watch it on video or on VOD or whatever streaming. That is definitely a movie you had to be there and watch it with a group of people opening night when no one knew what was going to happen. When the whole ending came about, and you usually at the theater you start hearing people talking and people would get up and start milling out of the theater, right? Mm-hmm. Not so much anymore because now there's all the post-credit scenes and stuff like that. But literally that movie ends and it's dead quiet, nobody's moving, and everybody's just like, did we just see people get murdered? You know, and then I go and
the marketing, all the marketing for the movie treated it as if it was a real event.
Dude, I still, if you go through my poster collection, I have an original from the Blair Witch website, The Missing poster. So it's a missing poster of Heather, Josh, and remember the other guy's name. But yeah, I have their poster still to this day, and I'm standing. We exit out, and of course everybody uses the restroom on their way out the door. Mm-hmm. So we walk out, and I'm standing and you can just hear these people go, "I can't believe people would let their kids that got murdered and they would let people show that as a film and stuff like that." And I'm like, because it worked. Mm-hmm. This actually worked. People believed that those kids were dead. And I'm just sitting there going, wow. But yet again, like we said, you had the marketing was genius. The fact that they cut the movie in a way and they took out all the other stuff and made The Curse of the Blair Witch, was a documentary about, and then they did such a great job with that whole marketing and scheme, and it worked great.
Honestly, though, like, I know you talk about how, you know, you had to watch it opening day, but, like, even with knowing, it's still a fine movie. I do say that, I do kind of agree that it loses its it came out before I was born. Like, you know, the movie had long been spoiled. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, the actors had, like, a, yeah, we're not dead moment. Same thing happened with
Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah,
people had to come out and they're like, he goes, no, look, I did not murder these people. Here they are. This is this man right here. I did not kill him.
I did kill that turtle though.
He did kill that turtle, and that's why people hate him to this day.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I love turtles. Fuck
the other movie that I went and seen, and I'm not a fan of this movie, was The Strangers. The Strangers was the one, the home invasion, where the three killers show up and they torment.
One that sucks.
they torment the people in the house, and it's got Liv Tyler and I can't remember, Scott Speedman, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it's honestly a pretty funny movie because
But-
it uses the same exact scare over and over and over and over and over
The
again.
fact that Dennis gets shot in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis of
Always Sunny in Philadelphia fame.
gets shot in the face.
But no, we're sitting here, we're watching this, and there's a girl sitting in front of Tina and I, and we're watching it, and she's like up on her chair, and she's all squatted over going, "Oh my God! Oh, turn around! He's behind you! Oh, don't! Oh!" And she's sitting there, and that was the best thing ever. Is the interaction. You can't see that at home. That doesn't happen at your house. You know, just watching the reaction of people interact. Okay, another one is that I went and seen, your mom and I went and seen Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War, on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. Well, we came back, because we were, went away for a couple days. We came back on Friday, and then Joe and I went and seen it. Mm-hmm. Joe and TJ and was it, we went. And we're sitting there in the theater, and I had a full day to let that all sink in. Mm. And I watched in real time everybody lose their shit in the theater. Mm. When you're sitting there watching, and you're just like, and when Peter goes, "Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good," and then I was like, and I start watching all the people's faces, and everybody going, "Oh my God, oh my God," and and I'm just like, that is something, that is a reaction that you cannot get at home. Mm-hmm. Although if you would have seen me and Joe last Friday when we watched The Mandalorian, you probably would have got something similar to that. The other one was I've been able, luckily, being in the comic book
kind of in the industry
and stuff like that. I've gone to a lot of conventions, a lot of what they call summits. Diamond used to put these things on all the time where they'd tell you about all the new product and stuff like that. Years ago, I got to see a teaser, about 20-minute teaser for Jurassic Park, but they didn't show any of the dinosaurs, which I thought was bullshit. But one of the movies that they got to show that year was, I got to see an advanced screening of Jason Goes to Hell.
But without all the...
No, I got to see the whole thing.
Oh.
No,
I was going to say, it was like, it's going to have early special effects or something?
No, it was the finished movie. I got to see that. I got to see... I've got to see Serenity several months in advance. I got to see Mimic several months in advance. And the cool part about Mimic was we got to see it, and Guillermo del Toro was there with a Q&A. And that was before he was Guillermo del Toro.
Pogs.
Yeah, literally the only thing he'd done was Kronos, and I think maybe The Devil's Backbone at that point. But so no one knew who he was, and all he did was talk shit about in the thing we were sitting there, because he was there. We had a Q&A after the event. But get back to
Keep talking about Guillermo del Toro.
yeah, dude, did not know who he was yet, but it was funny because he has a hard accent, and he was talking about how it was a lot of studio meddling, and that's why he hated Mimic, and he was like just poisoning all over that movie while we were sitting there, and he had like his Q&A guy writing this all down. But we went and seen Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell, and I'm sitting in our first showing, Sydney, Ohio theater. Mm-hmm. We're watching this, and there's all these people sitting around, and these people being loud and kind of obnoxious because it's a horror movie. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there going, "Hey, but he eats that dude's heart." And it's like, I don't know, all of a sudden he goes, "Oh," dude starts eating the heart, and he's like, and he goes back, and I'm like, "Hey, bet you that dude gets punched in the face and breaks her face." And this dude kept, through the entire movie, was like, "What the hell?" And he goes, How'd you know the movie? It just came out. And I'm like, I've already seen it. How did you see a movie? I'm like, Because it was back in the day. You got
Make him think you were a time traveler.
I'm a time traveler. And the funny part about it is we don't get as many advanced screening tickets as we used to, which is, but I think the last advanced screening I got was the Seth Rogen, Charlize Theron movie. Charlize Theron movie, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Where
it's Seth Rogen though.
Yeah,
So.
it was dumb fun. I mean, I got it for free, so it was whatever.
I was gonna say, I'm trying to Rude Removal. That was aired at a convention originally.
Oh, I got.
Didn't you watch the original Rude Removal?
I don't think I did. I got to see the unaired pilot for Smallville. I got to see the unaired pilot for Buffy the Vampire Slayer with a completely different Willow. Well, Smallville had a completely different mom.
Oh shit.
The first ones I got to see an advanced screening of Lois and Clark, which Lois and Clark was hilarious because it was not finished. So literally, there's like Dean Cain in the harness and shit. Like you got to see like all that with the unfinished special effects. Mm-hmm. I got to see about 20 minutes of Watchmen before it dropped. The year before that, I got to see like 20 minutes of 300 before it dropped. But you got to see all this. You know, sometimes if you go to like big conventions, they have these. But it used to be pretty commonplace, especially because DC back in the day, they're like, hey, this is our new product coming out. You know, we're going to do a Superman TV show, so you're probably going to want to raise your order on Superman comics. Mm-hmm. And now, you know.
Nowadays, it's comics, there's no money in them. Movies, more movies, more IPs.
They just want the IPs. They don't care about the comics. And this is another thing that I think is going to happen is I think within the next 5 years, if even that long, I think DC Comics will no longer be producing comic books. They're all going to be digital. They just want to keep the IP so they can make movies and TV shows. And to be honest, when that comes, I
think honestly that the model will turn out to be unsustainable.
Well, I don't understand how it's even remotely even thought about. Only 5% of the comic book market is digital. The people who buy digital. 95% of your market, I don't think it's 95, it's like 94% because there's that like 1% margin of error. Mm-hmm. So like 94% of your market is printed books. I don't understand why you would give up 95% of your market.
You're not thinking like a soulless corporate executive.
No, I'm also thinking like somebody who loves a genre of books and stuff like that. I get people who give me shit. They say I'm an old man, that I'm yelling at clouds.
I would rather be a crotchety old fuck than a soulless corporate executive.
No, but here's the thing when it comes to digital comics, and you can go back to, I've actually got 2 episodes of this podcast early on. I have fuck digital comics and no, seriously, fuck digital comics. Because I hate digital comics. If they become mainstream and they stop printing, I'm done. I'm not going to read a digital comic. I hate reading digital comics.
You've always, like, even back in the day, when digital comics first got its holding, you were like, nope, don't want it.
Nope, I don't want it. I had people give them to me.
Like on CDs?
Yeah, because used to, I remember Marvel...
I don't want no fucking CD.
Marvel released Spider-Man on CD-ROM and I think X-Men on CD-ROM. And I got them both given to me. And I tried checking them out. I hated them. DC Universe had the digital comics on there, which people love. And I'm not gonna lie, if you love digital comics, it's whatever. I actually pay for my books. I buy my weekly comics. I sell weekly comics. I'm a firm believer that you know, if you don't, then these things go away. And if comic books are not a viable market anymore, and you're only getting 5% of of your audience, and you know that at best you
feel
might
like they're trying to kill it on purpose.
Well, they don't want it. They don't want to spend.
They don't want it all gone.
DC wants to keep the IPs. They don't give two shits about the books
because it's soulless corporate executives.
Well, they even said that they've got more stories than they'll ever be able to make in a lifetime. You know, you got Batman and Superman who've been going on for almost, for 80, almost 90
Since
years.
The 30s.
Yeah. You know, you're never going to be able to, do, and mind you, they don't even really do most of the stories to the comic books anyways. Never have.
It's always loose adaptations or original stories.
Yeah. That's like when the quarantine hit. Here we go back. This is how we're gonna get back to 2020 here. When the quarantine hit, there were a handful of books that were just doing okay through Marvel. One was Ravencroft. One was Scream. Ant-Man. And I can't remember what the other ones were. There was like 5 titles that they just ended, and they went digital. The only one that did not get a print was like the last issue of Scream. DC did it. They had Ruby. Mm-hmm. They did. It was a 7-issue miniseries. Mm-hmm. That
it was all digital.
That 6 issues were printed, and the 7th issue went digital. I have never read, nor do I ever care to read the last issue of digital. But here's the thing: this is what they did with Lucifer. Lucifer ended, and they had like 2 issues left. Mm-hmm. Those are getting printed in a trade paperback of the last story arc. Mm. So it's still seeing print. It's not just going to go digital. And that I'm okay with. And if you would eventually release a actual print
physical
copy, I will buy it. Like if they actually print the last issue of Ruby, I'll buy it.
Soulless corporate executives. If you want to make money from comics, market them, make them easy to digest, easier to digest, and don't hire hack writers and artists.
Well, they hired artists, and the thing is, there's so many really good artists out there and writers who aren't working right now. And then you bring in these people for Marvel and DC because they can get...
they can crank out stories like crazy.
Well, one of the things is that they get a lot of South American artists, and they get a lot of Asian artists, Southeast Asian artists, because they can pay them lower page rate.
It's fucked up.
I talked to Francis Manipool, who did Flash for quite a while. Mm-hmm. But he was talking about when he moved to America and his page rate had to change because it was, but...
Suddenly he started getting less work.
Yeah, he started, because he doesn't do a whole lot of work now, but suddenly his work started getting less, but it is what it is. I don't know if 100%.
I'm just saying.
Because DC still keeps putting him onto Flash and stuff like that, so...
I want to keep going about hack writers. Particularly hilarious moment from one of the Franklin Richards stories, from a writer who is openly gone about how he does not like Franklin Richards. I don't know why you would be like, all right, you don't like this character. Here's this character and write him. Anyway, it came from one of the funniest moments in the world, where Franklin Richards wonders aloud, I have something on my mind. I'm going to go to Professor X's mutant island. I'm going to go talk to Professor X. As soon as he goes to leave, Professor X pops up as like a hologram, and he's like, fuck you, Franklin Richards. You're not a mutant. You were never a mutant. You just used your powers to mimic the X gene to make everyone think you were a mutant. You're not allowed to this. You're never allowed to come to this island ever again. Fuck you. And it's like, it makes
because
Professor X look horrid.
Well, they also had the full year before that, they had the X versus 4 storyline where they were all fighting over Franklin Richards, and I don't know. But well, what's funny is this is
who wrote that? I think is Dan Slott.
Here's what I think's funny though. You guys used to love Franklin Richards, Son of a Genius.
It was written and drawn by a guy who's heavily inspired by Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, but the funny part about it is, your little brother started watching a TV show called Xavier Riddle in a Secret Museum.
Yeah, and it's done by
the same guy.
Yeah, his art is like, it's very clearly his art style for the show.
And the funny part about it is they have a kid named Brad who's a little bald kid, who's Brad Metzler, the writer on Justice League and a bunch of other books. And I'm sitting there going, Vince is watching it, and I'm like, what are you watching? Why does that look so familiar? And then I'm going through my books, and I pull out a signed copy of Franklin Richards, and I'm like, that's why he's done. I was like, okay, so
moving from comics to
okay, we're moving
from kids comics to kids TV shows to death.
To no. First, we're gonna do death last. This year's though has been putting out some good television.
It's because everyone's stuck inside.
Yeah.
And TV producers are like, well, shit, now we gotta make shit that people will actually pay attention to.
Yeah, because, I mean, fucking Mandalorian was stupid good. I
That's because Dave Filoni is a genius. Jon Favreau is a genius.
Yep.
Everyone who worked on that show is a genius.
Everybody goes, hey, we wanted to bring the guys in who made them awesome TV shows, Rebels and Clone Wars. And Dave Filoni goes, hey, that's me. And they're like, Jon Favreau goes, you're hired.
Well, Dave Filoni is like, every episode of The Mandalorian is like, hey, you don't know who, I can spoil, right? He's like, hey, you don't know who Ahsoka is? And then he, like, handcuffs you and straps you to a chair. He already has Disney Plus up, and he's already going over to the Clone Wars. And he's like, watch this.
This is what you've got to view. Oh, man. But
every time the thought, who's Ahsoka, pops up in your head, Dave Filoni breaks a blood vessel.
Oh, man. But you know what 2020 did give us in TV? Fucking the train wreck that was the fucking Tiger King. Oh, me and your mom watched that, and you're just like, you can't. It's literally a car crash. It's like driving down the interstate and you see a car wrecking,
and you wreck your car.
You will literally watch that car crash. This is the reason NASCAR is still popular, is because people just want to watch cars wreck.
That'll piss off a lot of people in our comments.
No. This comes from somebody who used to love NASCAR, but
they may have too many rules.
Yeah, there are way too many rules in racing.
It's also they can like screw over racers, and just so they can have like their preferred racers win more easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
it's
guy wins. Now there is a 3-stage race system where you points.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like this guy won this year, who's not Dale Earnhardt Jr. They're like yeah, you're not allowed to do this anymore. You're not allowed to do this anymore. And like they keep adding rules to make it more boring.
Oh man, I tried to watch it a while back, and I was just sitting there going, "Wow, this is just horrid." This is just nope, nope. But yeah, hey, you know what's fun? You know what? The one sport that did not slow down and kept trugging along through all of this whole thing in 2020.
What?
It wasn't baseball. It wasn't basketball. It wasn't hockey. It wasn't NASCAR. It was goddamn professional wrestling. AEW and WWE never stopped. They just kept going. Vince McMahon goes, well, there's nothing else on TV. More wrestling! And give me a steak and a hot black coffee. So,
I'm going to avoid taxes now. Make my wrestlers take steroids.
No, he doesn't do steroids no more because now he boots them out. But
no, not on paper.
No, on paper, yeah. But wrestling was one of the few sports, and you know what? Watching wrestling with nobody in the audience
is funny.
It's boring as fuck, and I haven't watched wrestling since April of this year. And mind you, I haven't watched WWE since
I keep up through wrestling by watching Botchamania.
Yeah, I do watch Botchamania. I haven't watched WWE since Money in the Bank 2019. That's the last time I was like, you know what, I'm done. I can't watch this anymore. And it's
AEW is legitimately good.
And I watch AEW, but when AEW finally they did what they should have done from the beginning. Kenny Omega is the AEW champ, and Sting's there, ironically enough. But
Sting's just there.
Yeah, Kenny Omega, the best wrestler ever. Well, the best wrestler currently available. Kenny can literally have a good match with an invisible man, a little girl, and an inflatable blow-up doll. So, and he make it look legit. As Jim Cornette spins in his grave. But he hasn't died yet, but he's still spinning in his grave.
I know he started digging it with that Ethiopia joke.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I went back and found it when he said it in like 1985.
He said the same joke?
He said the same joke like 3 times.
Get some better material,
He said
Cornette.
it in the 80s in like Smoky Mountain. He said it in like the in the early 90s in the NWA, and then he said it again
on AEW. He's like,
no,
people are going to eventually laugh at my shitty racist joke.
The new NWA. But
he's like, eventually people will laugh at my shitty racist joke. Eventually.
But the thing is that I don't know if it was meant to be. It's not racist because it was
dead.
No,
it is racist.
It is racist. But back in the early 80s, Ethiopian jokes were just common.
Because people were racist.
Yeah, because people were racist, did not. Because mind you, you know who Jim Cornette found and made
big?
Yeah, New Jack and Mustafa the Gangsters.
So what you're saying is, without Jim Cornette, we would have never had...
We would have never had New Jack trying to murder people in the ring. Yes, we would have never had that happen.
Oh, Mr. New Jack, if you are somehow listening to this...
If you were listening to this, you are the best wrestler ever, and I will not lie.
Please
I don't want to get stabbed.
Please do not hurt me. My forehead is already fucked up enough with these...
But, yeah, that's another thing is that you know, with 2020, with that happening, with NWA almost folded, but it's back again.
You can't kill wrestling.
Impact is back.
People have tried unintentionally, but you cannot kill wrestling.
A lot of people have tried to murder wrestling, and it's... Oh, this is what sucks, though, is I've had tickets to wrestling this year. We were supposed to go see Wrestling Revolver down in Dayton again. We had on-the-stage tickets. Matter of fact, we still have on-the-stage tickets because we still have yet to recover our money back from. And
I don't know, though. Part of me kind of doesn't really want to go back to Rockstar. Cause
no, that's done. We're not... I don't think we're going to.
Yeah.
Because this is wrestling... This is the one at the...
good chunk of the people working there turned out to be real...
Yeah, that's another thing that happened this year. Finding out people that you thought were cool were actually pieces of shit.
Yep.
And you're like, oh.
On one hand, it's good that we know now. So instead of falsely believing that they were cool, we now know them as shitheads.
Yeah.
But it still hurts.
Yeah.
To like know that like someone you thought was cool or someone you looked up to.
Well, you know,
just like
that's like finding out people that that were always cool with me and I was cool with them. And, you never, you'd always heard it like, oh, he's a kind of a dick. He can be an asshole. And you're like, okay, he can be an asshole. Whatever. He's not, and then you find, oh, he's a piece of shit. He's not an asshole. He's a piece of shit. Okay.
I think the one that still pisses me off the most is still Chris Avellone. Because, like I said, he's someone who his writing in video games, like, is, like, inspired me. It's like he's honestly worked on some of my favorite games in the world, like Fallout New Vegas, and knowing that he was a piece of shit, like not just then but now, is just like it's just
Isn't he like an unrepentant piece of shit too?
He dropped off Twitter and he was like, yeah, I made a mistake. He's one of the few guys who read the room and was like, all right, I'm out.
I'm out. All right, sorry.
He's one of the few guys who understands that if you're outed as a piece of shit, you gotta run.
Then
after that, he just stopped posting on Twitter. He's just gone.
Yeah,
you cannot.
But 2020 has not been nice to people getting called out for being assholes.
I'm still.
There are people who probably shouldn't be where they are in wrestling.
Who are still there in wrestling?
That are still there in wrestling.
Vince McMahon should be in prison.
Well, that's like knowing full well how some people are, and it is what it is.
And then on that same note, did you watch Kevin Spacey's Christmas video? I didn't because I don't want to subject myself to that.
I can't bring myself. Kevin Spacey, I used to like him because he was great in so many movies, and he was, The
Usual Suspect is now cursed.
The Usual Suspects has both Kevin Spacey and Bryan Singer, and it's literally one of my favorite movies of all time.
It is now a cursed movie,
and it's like, are you fucking serious? I can't enjoy that movie now. I can't enjoy Seven. It's like, God damn it, seriously?
You need to go back in time and ring him by the neck and be like, "Don't be a piece of shit."
Yeah, that's my goal.
Still make this movie.
That's my goal. Is I'm gonna go back into the past and
play these shitty games that suck ass.
No, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna grab people before like shit and go, look, don't be a piece of shit when you grow up. You're going to want to do stupid shit when you get older. You're not going to do it.
Ring him by the neck and be like, I swear to God.
I'm gonna do what Bill Burr said. I just listened to Bill Burr comedy thing. He said, go back in the past so you can threaten people. I'm like, I'm going to beat you to death. I'll beat your mom to death with a family dog unless you straighten your ass up. I was like, oh my God, it's vile. But that would totally make people stop fucking up, especially kids. All right. Okay. Now,
the biggest thrill of Atari at McDonald's is winning. 50 deluxe home computer and video centers, 200 Atari Centipede games, 1,200 Atari home computers, 10,000 Atari home video games, as well as millions of McDonald's food prizes. Purchase some Chicken McNuggets required to redeem food prizes. Just scratch the card and match 2 dots without getting zapped. Sometimes you win, sometimes, because every card can be a winner. Taste the thrill of Atari. McDonald's.
Got me a hard-to-please woman, so I got me some 501 blues. Know what I mean? Got me a hard-to-please woman, so I got me some Levi's 501 blues. You know they're so much more than just butterfly jeans. They shrink to fit me so personally, and now my hard-to-please woman's having a hard time pleasing me. Well, she used to make me holler. You know she used to make me scream. That's right. Now all I gotta do is walk in wearing my Levi's 501 jeans. And then my woman says, baby, have mercy on me in your butterfly shrink fit 501 jeans. Yeah, my hard to please woman's having a hard time pleasing me. Thanks to my Levi's 501 jeans.
Right now, I'm gonna lie. There for a while, we're gonna get back to this whole thing of 2020. It kills me because we're just now getting our comic books caught up. I got a comic book the other day that was supposed to be out in December. I mean, not December, but in October, in December. Still got the fucking date for like a movie on the back. Everything is behind. All the toys are behind. Everything is behind.
It's actually kind of an interesting glimpse into how far back some of this stuff goes when it's in production and then when we get it.
Oh, yeah, because when the comic books first came out, after quarantine, because they shut down Diamond and all the printers just shut down and we're not printing any books for a while. Which, as somebody who has OCD, who has to have his comic books every week,
You're like, no.
oh, dude, I bought like 5 comic book collections while we were shut down, just so I could get comic books every week. Because my brain was like, you need.
I'm gonna be off camera for a bit. I'm gonna steal some jelly beans.
So, that's, we got caught up, but yet we're still not caught up. I'm still waiting for a handful of books to ship. It's, and especially toys. Toys are killing me. There's a handful of toys that are way fucking late. The Mandalorian retro figures are supposed to be out this month or in January, and I'm pushed back to July. But that's throwing me off. Like almost over a month without actual comic books, almost killed me. Because my brain and my OCD was like, you need new books. I actually started getting caught up on my regular books and getting caught up on everything. I started just trying to find trade paperbacks and burning through trade paperbacks and stuff like that on shit I hadn't read. But, okay, we're going to get down to the nitty gritty on this one. We're going to wrap this one up with probably about an hour long episode, this one. Fucking 2020 has murdered so many people this year. Yeah, some of them have been older. Sean Connery. We lost Sean Connery. We lost Chadwick Boseman. We lost fucking Black Panther. This is how shitty this year has been. We lost Black Panther. We lost James Bond. We lost Darth Vader, Boba Fett. We lost Emma Peel. Mm-hmm. You're like, fuck's sake, come on, stop. We lost Eddie Van Halen. And as of last night,
we lost Brody Lee.
Yeah, we lost Brody Lee, Luke Harper, fucking his real name John Huber.
He's 42. He's younger.
He died from some respiratory issues.
Sucks.
But you're just like, holy shit, he was fine. Like, I didn't know this was even a thing. I started watching him when he was Brody Lee on the Indies.
Mm-hmm. Then he became Luke Harper.
And then all of a sudden he went
to Brody Lee.
Then he went to Luke Harper and I thought he could have been awesome.
WWE fucked him over because they fucked everyone over.
Yeah, WWE should have left the Wyatt family alone. The Wyatt family should have had they should have took, and when they got the offer, the Soka sisters wanted to do a Wyatt family horror movie. And I thought, man, could you imagine a Wyatt family horror film? That would have been awesome. Have them play their characters. They would have been great. But then they just, they're like, okay, we're going to put Harper and Rowan over here and make them weird, Celtic hammer-wielding brothers, the Bludgeon Brothers. And I was like, oh, man, that's stupid. Oh.
It's like...
You take a great premise and then poop on it.
That's just what Vince McMahon does.
Triumph the insult dog just needs to sit next to Vince McMahon and he goes, this is a great wrestler for me to poop on. And just start shitting on great wrestlers.
Vince McMahon's like, ha ha ha, I feed off of pain.
I think he does. And
in 2020, if you want to take Vince McMahon from the world, I would not blame you. Please, but you're not. The thing is,
Vince McMahon's will outlive us all.
2020's only taken the good ones. Oh I mean, Sean Connery said some weird shit about women.
And Sean Connery's old, and
he's like, I hit my wife or something like that.
Yeah,
I hit my.
Because that was...
I hit my wife.
He's like, I smack my wife around.
I smack her really hard.
But no, it's like, fuck.
But then he was like, yeah, that wasn't really cool to say.
No. But man, 2020 has just fucking ate up. And you know, I look back
This
and I'm like,
year has been simultaneously ungodly long, but also went by in a flash.
yeah, it's a painfully long, short amount of time. If that makes sense in any way, shape, or form. I want 2020 to be over, but I'm scared of what 2021 will bring.
It's gonna be 2020 New Game Plus. Nightmare mode.
We're gonna go.
Thought the first time was bad.
We're gonna be. It's gonna like the clock's gonna strike midnight on December 31st, and instead of everything, it'll be December 32nd, 2020, and December 30th or 32nd, then 33rd, and then 30. You're like, no, why won't it end? Or what was the episode of The Simpsons where they get the extra month in their calendar because their calendars are misprinted? That's what I'll do is we're going to get another month at the end of the year. So it'll be like Schlevember. and we're like, it's still not January. I want to make a horror movie about the cursed year of 2020 where it never ends. It's like fucking Groundhog Day. You just got to keep living over and over the same year. And
It sounds like a nightmare.
Oh my god! But it's always 2020
It's
over
like-
and over and over.
I'm
again.
just saying.
So I feel bad because you
We
know
used to have 10 months, and then Julius Caesar was like, "Fuck you."
what's going to happen is there's going to be a bunch of little kids out there that are born because there's so many people stuck at home, and the only thing they're doing is smashing uglies. And we're going to have a shit ton of kids that were born in 2020.
Quarantine babies, let's call them. The quarantine generation.
Yeah, there's going to be a generation of quarantine babies. But what's really horrible about this is going to get serious here for a second, is the amount of alcoholism has gone up. Spousal and child abuse has gone up because people are trapped where the kids were able to go and be away from their parents if they were abusive parents, but then they were stuck with them because of the whole homeschooling. Mm-hmm. Kids were able, women were able to get away from their abusive husbands or husbands that were maybe not because they went to work or whatever. Well, they weren't going to work and they were stuck at home. Divorces have gone up. People who were supposed to get married aren't getting married because they were stuck living with each other solid for, 6 months. And then suddenly they're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, this isn't going to work. I'm not going to lie. When this all hit, I was probably miserable to be around. Because I still got up and I went to the shop every day for 2 hours just to fill orders, clean, restock.
Do a little bit of curbside.
Do a little bit of curbside and stuff like that. But I was at home,
Stop.
22 hours a day, and I only sleep about 6. So I was like, so I was working out fucking constantly, not that I don't work out a lot now, but, I was working out every day.
Because you just needed
Because
something
I needed
to do.
something to do. And I
Thank
couldn't.
God I have video games.
And I was watching shit tons of movies, and, Vince was getting upset because Vince,
He couldn't go out and do stuff.
Yeah, Vince is 10 years old and he has autism, and he doesn't understand why he's stuck at home. He doesn't understand why he couldn't go to COSI this year. He didn't understand why he couldn't go to the zoo. He didn't understand why he couldn't do this stuff because we always take him to go to COSI. We take him to the zoo. We take him to be, on little adventures, and he couldn't do that this year, and it
messed with him.
It messed with him, and he was acting out more and stuff like that, which we understand as a parent of a child with autism and a brother of a
I'm pretty sure I got something in here. I just don't know what it is because I was never diagnosed.
That's like people would say that I have Asperger's because I have an obsession with comic books and movies, and I got locked into that. And that's one of the things is that people with that get locked into certain things, and it and I know I have OCD, and it is what it is, but. So, we're this
we
year
got serious.
Yeah, we got way serious. But this year we hope you know, we really hit this hard because that's another thing is that I was only doing this part-time here and there. Whenever I felt like doing it, we would post an episode. But we really hit this podcast thing hard this year. We're hoping to keep growing, which we seem to be growing. You know, our views and our listens have gone up. We're now available on more platforms.
We got iHeartRadio now.
We're on iHeart, and we're on Pandora.
We're on almost everywhere.
The only thing we are not on is SiriusXM.
It's a little something to think about. SiriusXM. You want the big boys here.
You want these, you know, but they got Marvel on SiriusXM.
Marvel. You need the Group Therapy TV podcast, the greatest podcast in the world.
We're getting a lot of good feedback. I mean, I got people, and it's funny because people actually, since what did Mick say? We've become a destination. People will listen to our podcast and then come talk to us directly at the shop.
Because we're not like some coward stoner Joe Rogan who's like,
no,
you want to smoke weed?
No, because people you
can meet us.
Yeah,
we're not celebrities.
You can come meet me at my shop and talk to me and ask me questions, and I will be truthful. And
we're not characters.
This is literally me every day of my life. I always have the ongoing joke that I'm going to die when a stack of comic book boxes bury me and I can't get out from underneath them.
That or you always joke that your last words are going to be, "Hey, check this out."
No, I got this. It used to be, "Hey, Tina, put the gun down." But
my last words are going to be, "I'm the real one. Don't shoot."
But no, we've 2020 has been a mess, but it has focused me a lot, and I'm trying to get this thing to grow, and it seems to be growing. Not as fast as I'd like it to, but it is growing.
It's a quarantine project.
It's a quarantine project that became more than a quarantine project. But, you know...
Maybe this is the year I'm going to quit soda. I wanted to quit soda last year, but I was like, oh, God, I need a fucking root beer float.
But here's the thing. In the I've been sober for 5.5 years. I haven't had a drop of alcohol to drink in 5.5 years. This year almost caused me to drink. And it came really close, and I fought it tooth and nail, and I was like, nope, that's not going to happen. I have not had a drink. I still don't drink pop. I just drink tea, juice, milk.
Maybe an occasionally energy drink.
Yeah, that's because that's the only thing I can get rid of. I know that's kind of like pop, but I get bad headaches, and one of the only things that can knock my headaches out is like a big burst of caffeine, and that's one of the things that helps. I started eating better, and I stopped eating after 10 o'clock at night. I do not eat after 10 o'clock at night.
It's because you don't really want to do that. Your body's metabolism, even when you're not asleep, your body's metabolism still slows down.
Well, it's funny because people go, well, I don't eat after 8 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, but you go to bed at like 10 o'clock at night. I don't go to bed till like 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I get up at between 8 and 9 every morning. But it's, we're glad everybody's making it through. I'm
getting really tired, Dad. This is gonna.
I know we're gonna wrap this up. We're glad everybody's making it through. We're glad you're all still out there listening. We're
keep kicking.
We're keep kicking.
Do not give up.
Like I said, this year is going to be bigger. We're making plans for January, February. Should be really big for the podcast.
We got guests.
We got guests coming, and
I'm probably going to be asleep for.
Yeah, we might. Well, those
I'm going to be like, oh God, I can sleep in finally.
Those will be on Saturday afternoons or Sunday afternoons. We're going to film those or record those. So as always, like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification.
We're on
comment.
But serious.
We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, TuneIn, Stitcher, Podcast Addicts, iHeartRadio, Pandora. You can literally go on the Pandora app, and we are on there. I have found me on there. And you can still follow us on YouTube. And you can see our ugly mugs on YouTube. And
Me and my lead singer of Ram Jam Glory.
yeah. And me and my balding ass, that's why I'm wearing a hat. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to shave off the hair and start with a buzz and then, or
If you're just gonna keep going as long as you can.
I might, I'm trying to decide, I might try the pills to see if it actually works. Because the one company guarantees it. So it's like, if I don't start growing some hair back, then whatever. Whatever. It's something, if I try it and it grows back, good. If it doesn't, then stop taking it. Fuck it. So, all right. But as always, I'm Paul.
I'm Brandon.
And we're not licensed therapists. And we are out. Adios.
I'm gonna become a licensed therapist just so I can be like, well, I'm a licensed therapist.
I'm a licensed therapist.
Not this